This is Brent. Brent has been slaving away at his game for months now. He's made some progress, but he's getting stressed out. Is his game even any good? He starts to question the plans that he's made. This is Garret. He has also been working on a video game, but unlike Brent, he thinks it's one of the best decisions he's ever made. Want to know how you can start your game dev journey right and end up like Garret and avoid being like Brent? Watch till the end because I'll be sharing 3 keys that will determine whether you will successfully create your game or wish you never started. And I'm gonna be using The Sims to illustrate my points. Okay, let's start with... Brent likes to play a lot of video games. He has a great idea for a game that combines Fishing Simulator and Dance Dance Revolution. When he wakes up, he thinks about all the mechanics he's gonna add. During his day, he dreams about the different skill trees his dancing fish will have and the intricate storyline of a fish learning to moonwalk. He keeps thinking and fantasizing for day in and day out, but he never actually sits down and starts working. In another town over lives a guy named Garret. Garret has an idea for a video game about racing in a sci-fi setting. He knows that ideas are valuable and fleeting, so the moment he has the idea, he sits down and writes out all his thoughts. Then he goes to work. He starts getting the tools together that he needs and begins working on his game. He quickly whips up a prototype of his core game loop, because he knows that if he doesn't have fun core gameplay, no added mechanics will make it a good game. Fantasizing about your ideas is a habit of comfort, because in your fantasy, everything can work out and be perfect. Once you sit down to make ideas a reality, you're faced with your limitations and are tasked with bringing down your ideal game into a real limited version. When you start doing, you learn quickly what works and what doesn't. Thinking may feel like you're making progress, but if that's all you do for days, you have nothing to show for it. Define the smallest version of your core game and do your best to make it. Soon you'll know if your idea is really as good as you think. Hey look, Brent is finally getting to work, and he's really productive. On some weekend days, he even gets 10 hours of work in. He's committed himself to working at least 2 hours a day on his game, even on busy work days. He eats, sleeps, works and repeats. He stays up late and goes after it. Even during his lunch break, he's on the grind. But his performance at work is starting to fall. He's becoming irritable and forcing himself to stick to his high standard. Eventually he stops seeing his friends because they distract him from his dreams. He starts to burn out as his body and mind are increasingly becoming exhausted. Now, because he's missed one of his 2-hour days, he gets demotivated and depressed. Garret has also been very productive. He has a working prototype and is consistently adding new features and improving on existing ones. Wait, what's he doing now? That's not game development. Garret knows that game development and any other type of creative work can only be built on a good foundation of self-care. He does commit to his work, but he lowers the bar to just 10 minutes a day. This way, on bad or busy days, he can still honor his commitment to chasing his dreams. He makes sure that he has enough time in a day to do a workout, to read a bit, and do all the leisurely stuff he enjoys, as well as get a healthy amount of sleep. When you get excited by a project, it's easy to forget to take care of yourself. Creativity is on the upper part of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. To succeed, make sure you account for the full spectrum of life and keep the bar low, so that you can always achieve your daily goals and make consistent progress towards finishing your game. Brent now works consistently on his video game and he makes sure to take care of himself. Still, he sits alone in his room a lot working. He feels a lack of progress as a game developer because he's the only one to witness his work. When friends ask him what he's been doing, he says he's working on a project. He thinks people will laugh at him for his efforts. When Garret makes an improvement to his game, he shares it in his public log. He makes demos and he lets his friends playtest his game. They encourage him on and provide good feedback which Garret uses to improve on his idea. When it comes time to publish his finished game, it's no big deal since he's used to making things ready to ship by making his demos. And he's built up a modest following online which has been supporting him and will be happy to finally download the finished project. When you work on a passion project you care about, it can be scary to show it to others. You might fear they'll critique your work, but if your friends try to drag you down with negative comments just because you are proactively creative, they're not really your friends. Share your work with the world, online and offline, and you're not just making progress on the game, but at the same time, you're progressing in publishing the game. Garret has published his game. His followers were the first to buy. They're showing their friends this new fun space racer game they've bought. Word of mouth quickly spreads. News agencies pick up his indie development story and his game becomes a huge success. He's rightly rewarded for the work he's put in. Now he starts on his new project with a bigger budget and more time. Garret finds a small indie developer who has just uploaded his first game demo. It has a few flaws, but he sees the heart and the potential. He shares it to his blog and his following. Brent wakes up to a barrage of notifications. Serendipity has found him. People are cheering him on to continue working on the game. They're making fan art of his dancing fish. Brent goes on his morning run. I hope this story and these tips help you on your own game development journey, or in whatever creative field you work. If you want to read about these 3 keys that I've covered in more detail, then you can check out my blog post, which is linked in the description. With this channel, I want to help and encourage people to turn their creative ideas into a reality. Please subscribe to get an instant boost to your creativity, hit the bell, like the video, and share it with an up-and-coming game designer who needs to hear it. Thank you for watching, now go and create something you like. Goodbye.